We are back yet again for Fantasy Football in 5. Now, our last episode was our Week 7 Stardom Situms, and this episode will be Week 8.
So you haven't heard about our channel, hit the big red button below. Alright, so some starts at the quarterback position. We have Russell Wilson, Carson Palmer, and Ryan Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic, man. He is back. He got the starting job after Geno Smith tore his ACL, and he might as well quit. And so Ryan Fitzmagic, he brought him to win, and he is playing like a man to pretty much prove everyone wrong.
Yes.
And that is scary.
Some sits, Tyrod Taylor, Dak Prescott, and Carson Wentz.
Now, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, they're both going to be going against each other this week, and we expect that the Cowboys-Eagles game to be a defensive showdown, so the passing game will not be highlighted. Alright, a few starts here at running back now. We have Matt Forte, Spencer Ware, and Devontae Booker.
Now, Matt Forte has just been carving up some defenses lately. He had 20-plus points last week, and I expect that trend to continue against a pretty wimpy Browns team.
And now on to sits this week at running back. We have Jonathan Stewart, Matt Jones, and Jordan Howard.
Now, you may think Jordan Howard is a surprising sit here because he's had really good games up until last week, really. But he faces a team in the Vikings that is going to be angry at their loss against the Eagles. So expect them to come back with a vengeance and limit Jordan Howard.
Alright, now a few wide receivers that you want to start this week. We have Mike Evans, Doug Baldwin, Larry Fitzgerald, and Michael Thomas.
Now, Larry Fitzgerald, let's talk about him. He's come back a little bit this year after, having a rough start to the season. But he faces a really bad Carolina secondary, so expect Carson Palmer to throw the ball to him a lot.
And now a few sits this week. We have Allen Robinson, Alshon Jeffrey, Travis Benjamin, and Mr. Meredith of the...
Cameron Meredith,
excuse me, of the Bears.
Going back to Allen Robinson, he's really had a ghost of a year this year, not being seen at all on any fantasy stud list, really.
Yeah.
He plays Tennessee on a Thursday night matchup. I'm not sure how it's going to go yet, but you should sit him as precautionary because Blake Bortles is not playing well at all, and that's the reason Robinson's having a bad season. So some starts at the tight end position. We have Greg Olsen, Julius Thomas, and Jimmy Graham.
Now, Jimmy Graham has come on recently because the Seattle Seahawks finally listened to us. They started using him the way they should be, throwing him the football. Now, Jimmy Graham has been amazing, and honestly, the past few years, he's been haunting fantasy owners.
Yeah.
But now, he's proven them wrong.
Some sits, Zach Miller, Jacob Tamme, and Martellus Bennett.
Now, Martellus Bennett, he had a really good start to the season, but now that Gronk's back, expect him to be limited in the amount of catches and touches that he gets.
Alright, so some defenses to start and sit this week. Some starts, the Cardinals, the Vikings, and the Chiefs.
Now, the Chiefs' defense, we expect them to have a decent year this year, and the past two games, they've been pretty good. They limited Drew Brees last week, and this week we expect them to do something similar.
With Andrew Luck, that is.
Yes.
Some sits, the Seahawks, the Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Now, the Seahawks, you're probably wondering why we said to sit them, but they go up against New Orleans, and we expect Drew Brees to have a pretty good game. He may not throw a lot of touchdowns, but he will get a lot of yardage. Now for the most important position in fantasy football, we have the kickers. Starting, we have Graham Gano, Matt Bryant, and Adam Vinatieri.
Now, Adam Vinatieri, the ageless wonder, has made 43 consecutive field goals. Incredible.
That's almost as old as he is, isn't it?
It is as old as he is, actually. So you need to keep starting him until he misses one. I mean, come on.
Definitely. And so now for a few sits, we have a youngster here in Roberto Aguayo, then Mason Crosby, and Connor Barth.
Now, Roberto Aguayo has really not had the most impactful rookie campaign that everybody thought he was. He was a high draft pick, but he really hasn't shown his second-round value. He has missed plenty of field goals, and I expect that to continue in the following weeks, and he has a tough matchup against Oakland this week, too. He has a pretty good defense.
Alright, a few guys to pick up from the waiver wire if you haven't already. We have Alex Smith as a good streaming option at QB. Then we have Chris Thompson and Devontae Booker.
Now, picking up Devontae Booker from the waivers is like stealing candy from a baby. C.J. Anderson is out for multiple weeks, and Devontae Booker has been stealing spotlight recently, so you gotta pick him up.
Definitely.
I know you have.
I have, yes. Now, a few people that you want to sit if you haven't already, or not sit, excuse me, drop if you haven't already. Josh Brown, Matt Jones, and pretty much the Bears offense. Now, minus Jordan Howard.
Matt Jones has really fallen off. He fumbled twice last week, which resulted in Chris Thompson picking up a lot of the slack. He played phenomenally.
And did we call it, or did we call it?
I think we did.
Okay.
But you need to drop Matt Jones. Even after his 3 touchdown performance a couple of weeks ago, he's not getting yardage, really. He's getting touchdowns,
yeah.
but
that's going to fall off.
You still need to drop him. That was Fantasy Football 5. Thank you for watching. We deliver all your fantasy news in 5 minutes. Let's pick us, honestly, who would want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic?
Amen.
So this is our Week 8 strategy and starting with 7, so you guys stick with us next week for Week 9.
And fantasy-wise this week, we lost. What's new? But, hey. Till next week.